Hi guys, Al Smith here. This presentation is about our Bridge Roadmap Atlas. Bridge is really a fun and challenging game for players of all skill levels. You don't have to be an expert to enjoy the game, but it's a lifelong pursuit to really learn and play Bridge well. Modern Bridge came into being in the 1920s and has been evolving ever since. We call the system that's used in North America Standard American. There are lots of challenges in learning Bridge. The biggest is that there really is no defined approach as how to learn today's version of the game. There's a tremendous amount of information that's available on the internet on all the various topics associated with Bridge. The biggest problem is that 95% of everything that's on the internet is dated or just plain wrong. Okay, because the game has evolved incrementally, there's been a lot of dead ends in terms of conventions that have been developed that were leading people down the wrong path, and over time have been proven to be not real good ideas. So how to determine what conventions to use and what sequence to learn them has been a very difficult task. It's a trial and error type of exercise. Over the past 20 years that I've been playing Bridge and learning Bridge, I've gone down many of these dead-end roads. So what we tried to do is to look at all the different conventions and to see what order they should be added in what category associated with the game, so that there is actually a roadmap of how to learn the game. One of the old idioms is you can't get to where you're going unless you know where you're going. So that's what we're trying to do with this roadmap atlas. And that hopefully will help everybody in terms of learning the game in a more efficient manner. So you don't have to unlearn a whole bunch of stuff or get confused by when you add another convention, what it changes and what you previously learned. So let's just take a look at the high level roadmap. Okay, this is comprised of 16 different categories of information. Okay, the first category is just a set of lessons or videos or information about the game of Bridge, its history and so forth. The second is what we call our beginning Bridge course. This is comprised of 7 lessons that introduce the concepts of Bridge and teach you non-competitive bidding. Components in this particular category are free and are available both on our club homepage website and on our YouTube channel. This third area is what we call basic building blocks. And these are methods and techniques and so forth that we think everybody should be aware of and practicing before they actually start to get into learning the more complex and advanced techniques in Bridge. These also are available on our YouTube channel and on our the SE Academy webpage and are free. The fourth area is what we call Standard American Yellow Card conventions. And the Standard American Yellow Card is what I'm going to call signifies the intermediate level Bridge player, and it's comprised of a set of conventions that is recommended to play Bridge, where you can probably cover 85 to 90% of the hands in terms of bidding those hands correctly. And that's really should learn this set of conventions before you move on to the more advanced areas. The fifth area is what we call major suit openings. seats. And what we cover here is really in two parts. The first one is major suit openings in first and second seat. There's a series of conventions that are used in relationship to after you open one heart or one spade. Okay, and the major difference between first and second seat, and third and fourth seat. We also then cover what you should do after third and fourth seat. And the most important part of this lesson series is having a firm agreement with your partner on what are the criteria for making an open of a major in the various seats. The sixth area is the minor suit opens, clubs and diamonds. And just like in the majors, is different in first and second seat versus third and fourth seat. Again, we cover the criteria for making the open in the various seats, and then the conventions that are recommended to be used in relationship to opening a minor in the various seats. Next, we get into competitive bidding. This is all a huge area in the game. And as you get more advanced, you'll find that you're having competitive auctions probably at 75% of all the hands. Can we divide this into four categories? The first is overcaller competitive conventions. Okay, one of the opponents open and you overcall. There's a whole series of conventions here to use to describe your hand. The next is the responder. Okay, well, you've got the opener and you've got the overcaller. What does the responder do, and how? What mechanisms do they use to bid after an overcaller has taken action? Again, there's another set of conventions. The third is the advancer. That's the partner of the overcaller. And just like the others, there are particular conventions that are used. And finally, the opener, after the other people compete, has conventions that he or she can also use. Now, the number 7 here, overcaller conventions, has the largest set of conventions. Number 10 has the smallest set of conventions. And as you get more familiar with bridge, you'll understand why, because the conventions themselves are initiating some communication of information in a unique type of situation. And many of the opener actions on their second bid are a result of what the responder did on their first bid and are included within that discussion. The remaining categories is we come up with number 11, and that's doubles and redoubles. Doubles evolved from the doubling cube in backgammon and was used historically in betting to say, I don't think you can make this, so let's double our bet. The redouble was, let's quadruple our bet. Well, because bridge is a cooperative game, doubles themselves became cooperative, so they ended up having a dual purpose. One in terms of conventional bids that help describe what your hand has in it. Another one says, hey, I really want to double you for penalties. And that makes for a very rich environment with lots of different uses. The next is preempts. And preempts is when you make an initial jump bid or a jump over call. For example, you open 4 hearts. You don't really expect to make 4 hearts, but you're doing so to obstruct the opponents from finding their fit and making a game or a slam. And there's a number of things that need to be considered in that particular category. Number 13 is what we call the one no trump response system. And this includes a whole series of conventions that you use after your partner opens one no trump to describe your hand and define, first of all, a fit in the major suits, then fits in the minor suits, how to explore slam, and lots of other little ins and outs. Next is slam bidding itself, and there's particular techniques and conventions that we use here, and these are what are presented in this particular segment. The 15th is defense, and the 16th is declare play. Let's just, even though they appear blast and are fairly small on this particular graphic, defense, you're going to play defense 50% of the time on all the hands. Okay, you're going to be declared 25% of the time, and you're going to be the dummy 25% of the time. These two categories probably constitute somewhere in the neighborhood of 75% of the game. We traditionally, as bridge players, especially when we're starting out, spend most of our times on subject areas 2 through 14. What I recommend is that once you get the basic feeling of how to play bridge, you get into the standard American yellow card, and you feel comfortable with the introductory conventions in competitive bidding. And they're listed in this category. Spend as much time as you can on defense and declare play before you get into the more advanced topics, because all these 2 through 14 allow you to try to win the contract and put the contract in the right place. 15 and 16 are the two that are going to determine whether you actually make the contract or whether you set the opponents and determine your ultimate score. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email at se.carolina.bridge@gmail.com or give me a call. I'm always here. Well, not always here, but if I'm here and available, I'll be willing to answer your questions or talk to you about a particular concept. Thank you very much for attending this short overview of our Bridge Roadmap Atlas. Have a great day.